Hi, this is Rachel Derry, Director of Communication and Outreach, coming to you live from Arusha, Tanzania. We, the Gem Legacy team, wanted to give you an update on what's happening with our COVID-19 relief efforts here in East Africa. We are thrilled to announce that we have not only reached our goal to deliver 100,000 meals, but we've actually surpassed it. Thanks to your commitment to giving back, your contributions, we have donated and delivered 106,410 meals. Thank you so much for what you have done to contribute to that and to make that possible. Every contribution has made us able to get to that number. And just a quick note on that number, the 106,000 meals is our best estimate using the number 4 people per family. We're just using that approximate. However, most East African families are larger than 4, and often they will even have aunts and uncles, cousins living with them. And so the likelihood is that number is probably much greater than that, and we've given very generous donations so that food would extend for more people for a month. However, we want to be conservative in that estimation, and so we're going with that number, 106,410 meals, and we are so proud of that. To break that down a little bit, that includes 275 orphans. We have partnered with local ambassadors who have identified orphanages that were truly in need, that did not have access to outside funding, or their funding had stopped due to COVID-19 related causes. And so those orphanages are in mining communities in southern Kenya and northern Tanzania. That also includes 43 different mines across different regions of Tanzania and Kenya. And those mines are mining garnet, sapphire, spinel, tanzanite, iolite, ruby, tourmaline, so a wide variety of colored gemstones, and we are so proud to partner with them. And finally, 818 families. And like we were talking about, a family could be a wide combination of family members. We also have plans to deliver COVID-19 relief effort supplies, so food and soap, and the COVID-19 prevention guidelines from the CDC, which are translated into Swahili. We have plans to deliver those to 50 more families next week to a mining community here in Tanzania. So thanks to you donating over $22,000 to our COVID-19 relief efforts. That's what has made this possible. And 100% of those $22,000 have been used directly for our COVID-19 relief efforts. We get a lot of questions, how is that possible? That's all thanks to our advisory board. You can read more about them on our website. We are so thankful for them making this possible by covering all of the administrative costs for running the organization. Also, a quick note, what we might think is really small has such an immense legacy here in East Africa. Over 50% of the donations that we've received to the COVID-19 relief efforts were $50 or less. So this is the power of working together. Many, many small contributions have totaled up to this, $22,000 and 106,000 meals. So we also wanted to let you get to know our mining communities a little bit so that we can understand why COVID-19 relief efforts are still very much an immense need here in East Africa. So while things may be improving in Europe and in the United States, COVID-19 will probably be here much longer and have a much longer term effect for a few reasons. First of all, the healthcare in East Africa is much less developed than in Western countries where we have higher technology, more equipped doctors and nurses. And so there may be a long delay here to receive healthcare, and many people just don't have the finances to receive healthcare. Most especially those in gem mining communities who are artisanal and are generally working day to day in order to feed their family. And in this case, their way of providing income for their family has been eliminated because they're not international gemstone buyers. Another reason, social distancing is not really an option for many of the average East Africans because of close living quarters. So like I was talking about, we could have a very wide combination of family members all living together under one roof. Those are the effects of tribalism, but it's a very communal culture, and there's a lot of beauty to that where they take each other in and take care of each other. So the likelihood is we have many, many people living together, making social distancing nearly impossible. Another thing, quarantining, where we're able possibly to work at home in the US or virtually. Here, those types of jobs would be next to none. And so most people are going to work each day in order to feed their family for that night or for the next day. So if they quarantine, they risk having no food for their family, which they would rather have food and risk, of course, getting COVID-19. Actually, roughly 40% of people in Africa live beneath $1.90 per day. So if you just think about that, and that right now the source of income for gem miners is obsolete. So, and finally, hand washing might be a great option. In many places that's still very possible here, and their best way of preventing COVID-19. But often soap is not available. If their first priority is food, there may not be money in the budget for soap, and even in some cases running and clean water is not available. According to the WHO, 645 million people live in the rural areas of sub-Saharan Africa, and 10 million in sub-Saharan Africa are in artisanal gemstone mining. And of that 645 million, 3/4 don't have the facilities at home to wash their hands with soap and water. So just to put that in perspective, there's only 25% of the people living in rural areas in sub-Saharan Africa who actually have access to clean running water and soap. So the likelihood is that COVID-19 will be here for much longer, and the effects will be much more intense just because of that situation that's here in East Africa. So we are committed to standing alongside these artisanal gemstone miners for as long as we need to, until their supply chain returns and they're again able to sell the gemstones that they're mining. So our plea to you is that you would stand with us in giving back, in contributing, in seeing them in their hour of need, and contributing to their daily life. They thank you. We have to say that the response from the mining communities that we've received has been immensely overwhelming. They are so touched, oftentimes with tears. They don't know the words to thank you, but you have rescued them literally, and so they send their gratitude, their heartfelt gratitude. And we also like to thank our partners here on the ground. We are able to do all of these relief efforts because of our volunteers, our longtime trusted partners who are canvassing their local areas to find those most in need, to do analysis and research. They believe in this mission, and so we are so thankful for them making it possible in their different regions to distribute funds, to assure that that's done accurately and effectively, and making sure that that support is given to the people who need it most. So we thank them, and we thank you, our donors and our partners, for your partnership. And please feel free to check our website page, gemlegacy.org/COVID-19, for continuous ongoing updates about our COVID-19 relief efforts and what is still very much in need. $25 feeds an orphan for a month. $250 will feed all of the families dependent on one mine for a month. So those are great two places to get started. Thank you so much.